Welcome to WisBrewView Live. It's our third episode, and we got this one jam-packed with stuff already. We got new beer, new music, and someone is going to win free beer for a year. So we're going to get right to it. We're at Buns Brewery here in Oshkosh, and I am joined today by owner Dan Higgins and head brewmaster here, RJ Nordlund. And if you haven't had a chance to try the beer yet, if you haven't been down here yet, it's right on the nice trail here. The tap room here is just a great place to check out the beer and have a nice. And there's even we even got bikes you can rent out, an e-bike. We're gonna get to all that. But first, Dan, you opened in late May of 2015, correct?
Yeah, we've been open for 2 years. We're right on the Weeawash bike trail, which runs from downtown Oshkosh all the way up to Hortonville. We like to call ourselves a biker bar because we have quite a few bikes that stop on the weekends and the evenings when it's a beautiful day. And we're pretty easy to get to right off of Highway 45 just north of Oshkosh.
And what made you want to open a brewery? I mean, what was the decision then back 2 years ago that I want to run a brewery?
Well, I had to move my other business from 41 and 21, and we found a piece of land that happened to be right on the bike trail. And I've spent some time in many a microbrew area, and I've done some home brewing myself. So when we built the building, we just decided, why not try to get a microbrewery going? At that time, it was going to be a little bit smaller. I was going to try to do it myself, and figured out that I was way over my head, and it was smart enough to be dumb enough to hire somebody, and I had a great choice in RJ, and it's worked out well.
And you've been here about a year and a half then, and you came from Michigan, right?
Michigan, yeah.
Okay, what were some of the breweries there you've been working at?
So I started brewing as an assistant brewer at Founders Brewing Company in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and that's kind of where I learned everything.
A few people may have heard of that brewery.
Yeah, it's a little brewery in Grand Rapids, so. But then from there, I went and was brewing at this place called Fetch Brewing in Whitehall, and got to do a couple recipes there, and then I moved and became the lead brewer at Harmony Brewing Company in Grand Rapids, and was running the Easttown location and making some pretty killer beers, and then wanted to move over to Wisconsin. My dad lives here, and saw the ad for Buns Brewery on a job website, and applied, and he hired me. It was great.
What's the beer brewing process like? Is it you come in and you brew something for them, or you just sit and have a couple of beers and talk, or what's the process to when you apply for a job like this?
Yeah, we just sat down and talked, and actually this beer right here, the Bitchin' Heat, is what got me the job, I'm pretty sure. That's what Patty would say.
Yeah, I would agree.
And Patty's your wife, you're part owner of the brewery and operations here.
But
so,
no,
okay.
we just talked about, I just told him I like making a bunch of fun beers, and I want to make stuff that's different and big and bold and beautiful. And then Dan called me, a week later, and he said, so, got a bunch of good applicants, but you're the one I'd like to go fishing with.
Yeah, that's a
like,
true
okay.
story. I said, I want to have a brewmaster that I could want to spend some time on my boat with. And on top of the fact his beer was phenomenal he brought me, so I thought, geez, this is a win-win.
Brought a beer called the REO Speed Dragon.
What was that? What's an
It
REO
was like a red IPA. It was just a funny name.
Well, REO Speedway is popular here in Wisconsin, so that's Speed Dragon. Yeah, I could see that one going over pretty well here. So later on, we're going to draw. There was you guys were actually part of a group of breweries during American Craft Beer Week. And also kind of the localized Fox Valley Brewing. You decided to do this. So how did people get entered into this to win, in essence, free beer for a year?
This is a great idea that came from Fox River, actually. Jamie came up with an idea that we have punch cards. They just have to get 2 pints from each brewery during Craft Beer Week at 6 breweries, the 2 Oshkosh breweries. Appleton has a couple breweries, Lion's Tail and Neenah, and Knuth Brewing and Ripon
right.
were involved.
Yeah, I bet you that was the one that was probably the that's where you knew that these are some committed craft beer drinkers to make that trip out to Ripon.
Yeah, and we've collaborated before on some promotional stuff. We've got a beer flight that has all the brewery addresses and stuff. So we get together and meet and discuss how we can work together. And it's one of the ideas that came up, and I think it's a great one.
All right, so we're going to draw for that at the end. If you have questions right now, since we're live, we will take questions. The best way to do that is to tap on the video. If you're watching this on Facebook, tap on there, and then you can type right in. We'll have someone keeping an eye out for the questions to answer, In the meantime, I've got our 6-pack of either or questions for you guys to answer and kind of give us a chance to talk a little bit about the brewery. So one thing you'll notice right away is you have bottles and you have cans. So there's your first either or question, cans or bottles, if you had to pick one or the other.
I prefer cans.
Okay.
We have a bottler too, and the bottler's great, but cans don't smash in the bottler. That's the one thing that's hard about bottling to canning is you're bottling beer, and all of a sudden, say a bottle smashes, you got to shut everything down. You got to get all the glass out and start back over. And with a can, you just pull the smashed one out. But
for you, Dan,
I agree with RJ on the cans. We went with a bottler because that was a decision I had to make shortly before RJ got here. And the reason I made the decision is because people have this fallacy that bottled beer is better.
Yep, and absolutely.
It's really not.
Yeah.
But there was a study done, and they said over 80% of the people believe that. So if we're going to bring our beer to market, we want to put it in the most believable package that's the best quality. Yep. But the reality is the can is a lot more fun, and it certainly is a lot more transportable, and it doesn't affect the sun, and it's great.
And even and a good case in point too is your the Chiquita here, which is it's really a good summer beer. I just did our pick 6 on summer beers, and this one certainly qualifies in that area. It's kind of got this lemon beer kind of light beer taste. But this was actually a request from the golf course here, or the?
Yeah, we've got a great relationship with the golf course down the street, but they won't put glass on their beer carts. So he said, if you put something in a can, we'll do it. So.
And then he said it had to be a 12-ounce can.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, the first time we did it for Battle on Bago for their ice fishery, and the same thing. They didn't want bottles at an event with 15,000 fishermen and a weapon in their hand.
Right.
So they said, get us cans, and we can. That was the first time we did that with the Double Dog Days as well.
And that's the other thing too. Whenever I'm given a choice now, like some of these breweries will have the same beer, bottle, can. I usually go can. One, for me, they stack better. Two, I'm drinking out of a glass anyway. Usually when I'm, and also like you said, the golf courses or other places, these cans are better, especially during the summer when we're out and around. These cans are much better in terms of like access and where you can bring them to, I think.
And from a business standpoint, all you need to do is get the cans made. In the bottles, we've got to buy the caps, we've got to buy the 6-pack packaging, we've got to buy the bottle label. If you wanted neck labels, that's another thing that has to be bought. Then it's got to go into a case box. There's about 6 different things that need to be done per flavor. It's very hard to do. These are all generic. They want a simple flat. It makes it a lot easier from my perspective. And
just have to make the wrap, the design for the sleeve, and boom,
it's done.
So summer beers. I like something that's kind of light, something that's refreshing. Pilsner or cream ale?
Pilsner.
Pilsner.
That's Pilsner.
All right.
Pilsner.
Yeah, definitely.
We actually had a cream ale. The Happy Tail cream ale is one of our mainstays, and then we made a Pilsner here. And right as soon as we drank the Pilsner, it's like, yeah, that's gonna take the cream ale spot.
Yeah, it did.
The Pilsner is so good.
So right now you're kind of in that transition from the Happy Tail. If you see it out there, that's not coming back, and what's
item now.
And coming in its place is going to be the
Possum Pilsner.
Right, and that's just
awesome.
Again, playing off all the dog.
We try
dog
to do as many
themes
dog puns as we can.
And that actually came from your dog. It was kind of the inspiration of going bare bones and having this whole dog theme, right?
Yeah, I mean, Irie, our mascot, was one of these things. We rescued a dog, and we weren't told it was a pit bull, and everybody's afraid of pit bulls, and she turned out to be the best dog ever. And our theory was we needed a mascot, and she was fantastic, but also a lot of people are afraid of beers. I don't like hoppy beers. I don't like dark beers. I don't want to drink motor oil. I just like this kind. And our thing of fear no beer is the same thing with the dog. Let's not predispose pit bulls are all evil, and all IPAs are over hopped and taste like crap. I mean, they open your mind a little bit, and that's what the fear no beer and the pit bull label is.
And I think that's what I'm finding a little bit too, is I think Wisconsin brewers are a little bit better at balancing the beer. And I don't know if that's because of the German heritage and the long tradition of malt forward and those kind of beers. And we just have more appreciation for it, that you end up with a more balance. I think a lot of the IPs here are a lot more balanced.
It's all about balance. I think there's a lot of breweries that just want to make a hoppy beer that rips your tongue out. And I don't see the point in that. Like, I mean, you can make a very good hoppy beer that's balanced and has all the other flavors to balance it out, and then it's a more enjoyable experience. I mean, if you drink like Double Dog Days, for instance, it's 11%. It's got a whole bunch of hops in it, but it is very well balanced. It's smooth. It's got sweetness. It's got that hop flavor. And not to say it's dangerous. It's definitely dangerous, but it drinks very smooth for something that is the kind of beer that it is.
And if you're not in the Double Dog Dare kind of mood, there is the
Dog
Days
IPA,
too, which is which is where's that come in then in terms of
8%?
8%. Okay, so
ABV
still pretty
beer.
strong, but not quite the.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So another. So the next question I got is strawberries or jalapenos.
Both.
No. All right. If you got to pick
Both,
one,
that's
all
true.
right.
Yeah.
All right. So then
I
that
didn't
brings
have
us
to
to.
pick. That's why we did the beer.
That's where the bitchin' heat, which
bitchin'
is the
heat,
one that
yeah.
I don't know. I might just get fired for saying that word on the air. I'm not sure, but as you can see,
it's
this
a
is
dog
wonderful.
pun.
I mean, it
I'm
is
not saying it to be offensive. It's a
right.
dog pun.
All right. So beautiful red color. It's really. I mean, the strawberries. If you're afraid of the jalapeno, don't be. It's there, but it's not.
It's a perfect
Right.
blend with the fruit.
This tastes like July in a glass. You know, the strawberries come to. I mean, it really tastes like ripe strawberries in there.
It's a great beer.
Perfect, a good summer beer. Where's this come in? Where are we at on the ABV?
6%.
6%. So it's a little decent. You're probably knocked down too
No,
and
knocked
be
down.
okay.
No,
Well, depending how much of a long time. Depending.
now.
All right.
Come on now.
Over the course of a day. All right. Depending who you are.
Yeah. No, it's definitely one that and the heat this year is a little less spicy than it was last year, and it shouldn't have been because I used the same amount, but it might have just been the difference in the crop from year to year. You know? Like peppers aren't always the same.
Yeah.
Crop berries, and maybe
Sure.
the peppers that they ground up this year was different. So
And that's the thing I always talk about too, is people always expect everything to be so perfect. I mean, it's amazing how close you can get things when you really think about. You're starting with living, from the barley itself, the hops, everything is so. It's a living plant, living whatever. It's not being stamped out of a factory where it's under the same controlled conditions. So
yeah, even your yeast sometimes will act differently because the yeast is alive. And
yeah, I think we get so far removed from food,
Yeah.
sometimes we forget that how much of a variance there is on that. But it's really what is kind of your strawberry? Do you have like a strawberry to jalapeno ratio that goes in there then, or how do you?
Actually, when we did this the first time, there was no trial batch. There was nothing. Dan was like, trying to get me to do one, and I was like, let's just do it. And so we just threw it in there, took a guesstimate of how much strawberry extract to throw in, and how much jalapeno to put in, and it worked out perfectly. It's just one of those fun things, I like to brew. I don't really think of brewing as scientifically as other brewers do.
Okay.
I think of it more like art. I'm a very artsy guy. I like just using ingredients and seeing what the ingredients will do together, and feeling it out rather than trying to get all these crazy calculations and stuff. I think.
Okay.
I mean, everything, every malt, every grain, every hop, every adjunct has really fun flavors, and just to try and figure out what works well together is the most fun part about being a brewer.
And when you're doing a batch, so how much of each of these do you have brewed up?
So we made 30 barrels of the Bitchin' Heat, 30 barrels of the Chiquita,
Okay.
and we did 15 of this. We still have some good cans of these, but we're all out of draft of that and everything.
Okay.
But, yeah.
So when people say, this is everyone too, I'm always trying to translate. So 30 barrels translates to
It's
about
just shy
how
of
many
1,000
pints?
gallons.
1,000 gallons, which comes into about.
Shoot, I
Like
don't
if you're
know.
going to put
It's
into
a lot
pints.
of pints. It's a lot of
So
pints.
okay, so about okay.
Think
So
of
just
it,
give us a
30 barrels is 60 big kegs.
Okay.
So,
Okay, there you
Yeah.
go. So anytime you hear that, there's your
see
translation
those
for
big kegs there.
beer
That's a lot of
speak
beer.
to normal. All right, so you talked about being an artist. CD drops. Oh, actually, I should back up. Mention this is coming out tomorrow. Beyond Draft here, part of the second. So it would be second year anniversary that you got going on this weekend, right?
Tomorrow we have our second anniversary. We've got a band out underneath the tent. Tap room's kind of small, so we can't have huge parties really inside. Although we have done stuff in the back brewery area. We clean out the warehouse. We can fit 150 people back there, but we're hoping to have a good turnout tomorrow night to see the band. We'll have a food truck here. Bebop and Barbecue will be here. Mistrial, the band, it's an Appleton band, will be coming down. He's a friend of mine, Rob, that sings in there. And yeah, be a good time.
All right. So kind of getting back to you, you talk about being artistic. You actually have a CD or coming out today.
Yes,
this is the dropping for you. So do you would you rather, are you more of a drink beer and listen to music, or more drink beer and play music?
I'm a drink beer and listen to music kind
Okay.
of guy, actually, because I think of music as like another profession too. I mean, if somebody's giving you a car ride, you don't want them to be like slammed doing their job, like trying to drive you around town. You want them to be on top of their game. If you hire somebody to do a job for you, you want to make sure they do a good job. So what I'll do is I'll maybe have a beer or two before a show, but then when I'm on stage, I don't drink at all. And I wait till I'm done. And I like being like in the front row of a show, just having a beer and enjoying it like that. That's my favorite way.
So tell us a little bit about that. And you even managed to get a dog onto the
Yeah, my dog Fozzie's on the back.
There we go. So right there on the back there. So even your music now is dog centric.
Yeah. Well, my dog doesn't have much longer to live, so I'm trying to get him on as many things as I can. He's 17 years old, so still going strong, but for a 17-year-old dog, shoot. I'm going to try and get him his fame as much as I can.
So when you actually played at Mile Music last year up in Appleton, a few locations. So if people haven't, we played a little clip of the music coming in today, so people had it first. So is that what we were playing today? What were we playing today here? What was
It's a
that?
song called To Hell With It.
Okay.
So,
and is that pretty typical of what people are going to expect if they come out and see
that's
you
one of our more
live,
rock
or?
and roll, and actually
Okay.
we play a lot of rock tunes live, but the album itself is quite a variance of songs. I mean, there's your singer-songwriter songs, your full band stuff. I mean, playing with my friend Erin, she plays piano, singing with her on one of them, so it's just all over the place, but it's fun. You can get like some folky music, some bluegrass music, rock and roll, some country sounds. It's all over the spectrum.
Is this the first album you put together, or is this?
Here, it is the first
Okay.
one here. I
Okay.
used to be in a band called the Carboys. That's a brewing term. But yeah, Carboys in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and we put out an album too, like 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay. So which have you been? Have you been brewing longer or playing music longer?
Music, yeah.
Music, okay.
I've been playing music since 2008.
Okay. What was it? Guitar or
Guitar, yeah. My grandpa gave me a guitar and learned how to play.
that was just it. It
That was
was
it,
just
yeah.
kind of decided to play with it. All right, cool.
You know, one of the things about RJ, Dan, that we really stepped into it good when we found him. He also designed all of the labels that you're seeing in front of us.
Okay.
So he's got that artistic thing with the beer. He's got it with the music. He's got it creatively with graphic arts. So, I mean, every label that we put out, every box that we put out, he's designed T-shirts, different logos for us. And I mean, what a find, the guy that can put all that together.
I love this little Chiquita guy here too. That is,
that's
a
Sweetie.
fun
That's
little...
my grandma's dog.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah,
So there's a
there's
story.
Dan's dog, Ivy, right
Okay,
here.
all right.
Yeah.
So, and you had mentioned you're on the trail. You actually have bikes to rent. So, are you converted to e-bikes, or do you still like the pedal bikes?
Well, I'm getting older and a lot more out of shape thanks to all this great beer. So the e-bikes really help out. They're just a fun little tool if you ever have the chance to ride one. They'll go 20 miles an hour pedal assist. They'll go 60 miles on a battery charge. But it really gives the opportunity for somebody, if they want to come out here and then take the bikes and go into town, they can tour different drinking and eating places, see the waterfront, and go on a 25-mile bike ride all around Oshkosh if they're looking for the city. Or if they want to head north, they can go up into the country and head up the trail up to Larson and Hortonville and have a good time, and come back with 50 miles on and not feel like they just rode 50 miles.
Right, right. So when you said so 20 miles an hour is the top speed if you're pedaling with the motor? Or
No, that's just if you put it on high for the motor and go.
Okay.
Ride it like a mini bike.
Okay.
It'll go 20 miles an hour.
Okay.
If you're feeling up to it, you can pedal it as fast as you want, but you
Okay.
set different settings on how much help you want.
Okay. Okay. Does it take? I've been promised a trial on this after today. So is it hard to get a hang of it or?
No, it's just like riding a bike, and it just kind of kicks in.
Literally just like riding a bike. Okay.
Yeah. And if you come up to a huge hill and you're worried about it, it just kind of helps you get up the hill. It's really kind of fun.
So so you can be paddling and the motor going. So it's not like you have to decide one or the other. It's
right.
Okay. Well, that's pretty cool. And it's what, 2 hours, $35 rental?
2 hours is $45.
2 hours is $45. Okay.
4 hours is $65.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and it goes up from there. You can get it for the day for I think $100. It's on our Facebook site.
And if you go into town, like you said, you were talking about, go downtown, Oshkosh, check that out. So how long, like if you start from here to downtown, would be typical, like if you're using the assist, 20 minutes, half hour?
Yeah, you'd probably be downtown in 15 minutes if you pedaled straight. It's really 3 miles from here to Fox River Brewing or downtown Oshkosh that way by the campus. If you're going down even further, maybe a little more.
Okay, just to kind of give a sense of where you can go and check out stuff and all that. So that's pretty cool.
And some folks think that that's a lot to rent a bike, but it's more than a bike. I mean, they retail over $3,000, so they're expensive.
And you have tandem?
And we got a tandem one as well. So we got 2 tandem ones.
Tandems, yeah.
So if my wife's watching, she's pretty excited because she's been trying to get me on a tandem bike, and I keep fighting her. And then I told her about these, and I'm like, we're gonna have to come down here and try this out this summer. Yeah. And she's like, well, do they have tandem bikes? I'm like, I don't think so. And then he told me, like, oh, so I know what we're gonna be on. And I'm gonna be out here pedaling around on one of those. I'm gonna be drinking lots of that after I get back. I'll tell you that. So
just so you know, our authorization says that you drink beer after you're drinking.
Right? No, believe me, I am. I would do that after as well. So, final question: our 6-pack, parboil or beer bath for your brats?
Ooh,
I like beer. That's what my dad always used to cook brats on the grill, and he just poured beer. He'd put a little slit on them, pour beer on them, and boom.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
I've converted mine to cooking them on the grill first and then boiling them after.
And then put them in the beer bath.
Yeah. That's
any particular beer you guys like to use for your beer bath?
Bush.
Yeah. Bush. Whatever's expired.
Just kind of give that flavor.
So my dad always used Bush.
All right. So, what are some of the common questions you guys get? Where I guess that's one of the things too. So, what's the question you get the most asked the most?
In the tap room, it's whether we have food or not. We just have Village Pub pizzas that are made here in Oshkosh. RJ gets a lot of beer questions on what our flagships are and most popular. People
actually, a lot of times folks will say, not even questions, they tell me, you have to brew this or you have to brew that. I'm like, man. So one of our guys, Harv, he's a regular here. He's been asking me since I got here, when are you going to brew me a brown ale? Brew me a brown ale. So we're going to put that in the schedule this year finally. So persistence might pay off if you want a certain style.
All right.
But it's been a couple years of him asking.
So you get questions and you get demands.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that works out. Okay. So here we go. Let's we're gonna draw for this. So basically, he's gonna mix it up. We got all the names in here. People who made it out there had 2 pints at each place. And then basically what they get is coupons for a couple of beers a week, or
they get a growler a month.
Growler
from
a month.
all 6 breweries.
Oh, so each, okay.
Yeah, I get six growlers per month.
Okay, so yeah, that if you're drinking more than 6 growlers by yourself in a month.
Our lucky winner is.
All right, who was the name I was not supposed to read off? Okay, this is Cherry.
Cheryl.
Oh, Cheryl.
Prosek.
Prosek. Cheryl Prosek. You are the proud owner of 6 growlers of beer a month for a year.
Holy
so
cow.
there you go. Awesome. Well, thanks for having us out
Dan,
today.
Thanks so much.
It was great talking to you guys. A lot of great summer beer coming up. Good year-round stuff. What are some of the year-round ones that we focus quite a bit on? But you do have the year-round offerings as well.
Yeah.
What are the year-round?
Well, we have 3 IPAs that we offer year-round right now, and that is the Dog Days, which is our regular IPA, the Hurricane Dan, which is a rye pale ale, rye IPA, and the Wicked Badass, which is a India Black Ale. So it's a hopped. I hop that. It's like a robust porter that I hop like an IPA.
Right.
And then we have an Amber Ale, and soon to come out the Possum Pilsner in bottles too.
Right, and that'll be next month or so. So you start looking for that. Good.
July.
Again,
really,
summer's a good time for that.
June, so.
And then as far as finding these beers outside of here, I've seen you in Festival Foods. I've seen you at a few, and then a few smaller places as well. You're on tap at various pubs around.
Yeah.
There's one in Appleton that's like exclusively carries,
Yeah, this
right?
place called the CU Saloon exclusively carries Bare Bones on tap.
Yeah, so if you want to check it out, if you can't get down to Oshkosh, check it out there, or check them out in the store, pick up some 6-packs, and you'll be up in Green Bay area too. You're kind of in a transition phase there in terms of...
yeah, we self-distribute up that way.
Okay.
We use Lee Beverage around here.
Okay.
So any, Lee Beverage covers, I would know exactly, but 40 or 50 counties, even over by Eau Claire and stuff like that. So people can request our beer almost statewide.
Well, I know up in Green Bay, are you still in at Ridgeview Liquor up there? I think I saw you there, or maybe that was... Or,
I didn't have time to stop there yesterday.
Okay, so some of those places, but they'll keep an eye out up there as well.
That's right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Look at Wine Cellars in De Pere. I know they're going to have us pretty soon.
Okay. Yeah, he's got a big... Dale's excellent guy up there too to be in.
Skis and Oshkosh downtown carries a lot of our.
Okay.
They've got a great selection of beers.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, thanks for having us out. Our next one, actually, we're going to head up to Door County Brewing, end of the month. We're going to check out their new tap room brewery. After that, Titletown, and then we'll see where we're at. But thanks everybody for watching today. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.